Okay, friends, today is the 10th of May. It is high time we had our meeting. Thank you very much for understanding us for the delay. Because of the technical reasons, we have more than 100 people here today waiting for us, waiting for the start of today's meeting. Someone says the volume is too low. Let me try and
Okay, friends,
raise the
today
microphone,
is
but
the
again, I don't
10th
want
of
it to
May.
cover half the screen.
It is high
Dear
time.
administrator, could you please tell me if you can hear me well? You particularly. Okay, you're saying I can hear you loud and clear. Well, probably if it is too low at your end, try boosting the volume, and I will boost the microphone at my end. I think now you should be able to hear me. Okay, we haven't had a meeting in a while, you and I, and Yelena says we are waiting for pleasant news, and indeed, we are going to have some long-awaited and good news. And let's outline the format of our today's meeting. First, we are going to talk about the recent news that happened in the development of the string transportation technology. This is A. And B, we're going to talk about some of the technical details on our platform. I'm talking about internal transfers and India in particular, because we had a lot of requests from India. And also, I'm going to present you some of the information related to the preparation for the launch of our new platform, updated platform, Micron Global. And I'm going to give you some interesting news for your activity in the process. And I think it's going to be very effective and of use, where I'm going to show you the tool that we're going to use at our platform, Micron Global, to promote the string transportation technology. You are going to be pleasantly surprised, and we will need some very active feedback from you. Okay, friends, before we start with the news, I would like first to recap all the previous meetings that we had. I'm talking about the meetings dedicated to the technology of the high-speed transportation systems, and also the bulk of news related to the paying of dividends, of remuneration. We're talking about the first years, and that's why we're calling it remuneration and not dividends. So please tell me, dear friends, all the previous meetings that we had, were they enough? Or do you still have some unanswered questions, or still something that you don't understand? Or did we receive all the adequate answers to our questions and now everything is clear? Please give me some feedback. We had a very good meeting. Last meeting, the last but one, dedicated to it. We touched upon all the nuances. So I'm trying to recap here. So let me read your feedback. Andre says, I didn't hear about the recent news because I was away for quite some time. Well, all you have to do is just watch the last two meetings. I think they should be enough for you not to waste your time. And another life hack that I can give you, if you watch the recording of our meetings, watch, especially in Russian, at a speed 1.5x. It's kind of 50% faster, and it will help you save time, and you will still be able to understand everything, because I'm not a very fast talker, but I think 1.5x speed will still be okay. Let me read other comments. All the answers were competent. It was written by Elena. Evgeny says everything is clear. Trini wrote it was very clear. Good. Maya wrote, in my opinion, everything was clear. Everything was explained clearly. No questions. All the answers were received, etc. Give me some other feedback. We have more than 100 people here. And if you have that feedback, just share it, how you see it. And I will read it. So I see other comments. New comments. Everything was clear and on point. No questions. Victor wrote an old motto, build Skyway, save the planet. But please remember that Skyway is the old name of our technology. Now it's called UST. But still, the message stays strong, of course. We understand what you meant. The logo is very strong, very good. Tatiana wrote, everything was clear, very accessible. I was glad to be attending that meeting. So it's very good that in a short time I was able to perform all my obligations as the head of the RSW systems in terms of basis. And we say group of companies, it would be better to accompany it with GTI and not UST. I hope you understand why it's GTI group of companies and not UST group of companies. And while you are digesting my question, the difference between GTI and UST, I will read some other comments. Already read that message out? Good. So let's go back to GTI and UST. So the strategic decisions were made by GTI because GTI is the ultimate beneficiary and the founder of all the companies that represent the technology. We're talking about String Technologies Inc. We're talking about the SV plant. It's the production facilities. All of them are part of the GTI parent company, mother company, as someone wrote. So I think it would be better or more correct for us to always say GTI group of companies or group of companies GTI, because UST is also a group of companies but already part of the GTI. So GTI is the parent company and UST is part of that parent company, is the daughter or affiliate company. So in future we are going to use the correct terminology in all of our speeches, in all the memoranda to be published by GTI. So this is the kind of wording the company is going to use. So it doesn't mean that we will not use UST group of companies anymore as a term. We just want to be clear about the terminology and about the words that we're using. And I hope it is clear to you as well. Victor is asking, Utera, is it GTI or UST? Well, let me add on that so that everyone is on the same page and everyone understands the legal relations between the companies. So there is a group of companies of Unitsky, or Unitsky's group of companies, USky. And in his group of companies, Dr. Unitsky's group of companies, he has a farming company. There is a humus production company, Utera, commercial name. Also, this group of companies comprises the rocket-free space exploration technology, which, of course, is owned only by the author, creator of the technology. So we have a Unitsky's group of company, we have GTI group of companies, which also comprises part of Dr. Unitsky's companies. So everything related to the string transportation technology belongs to UST. I hope that's clear. Somewhere in some of the processes, UST group of companies can become a contractor for Unitsky's group of companies, and it pays money for that. Dr. Unitsky invests his expertise, and sometimes he might use the services of the string transportation company and use their specialists, and UST receives money for that. And if UST receives money for that, then we'll share in those profits. So that revenue will turn into profits, and then we share those profits. And even if Dr. Unitsky's company places an order with UST, we will be part of the process. And there is a very good real-life example. So let me ask you, who is the actual real-life customer for the UST technology? What is the first commercial project? And once you answer this question, you will understand everything. So who is the first customer for UST, which is part of GTI? So again, what is the first commercial project already in operation? Well, Alexander and Ruslan wrote Aquarel. Exactly. So the group of companies of Dr. Unitsky and one of the companies that belongs to that group of companies ordered from String Technologies Inc. a commercial project. And that order helped UST and String Technologies Incorporated in particular to receive revenues. And Dr. Unitsky declared on the 16th of April his readiness to share his own profits from the revenues that he receives as the author of the technology. And as the ultimate beneficiary from the first commercial project, which is monetized and bringing revenues, so this income that he's going to receive will be shared, well, most of it will be shared with us, other investors who invested into GTI. So, dear colleagues, it is very important for you to see the connection. So first, Unitsky's group of companies, then GTI group of companies, that includes UST. As for rocket-free space exploration, someone asked, how can we sponsor rocket-free space exploration? Well, in the United States, there is a special fund opened by Dr. Unitsky for this particular area. And there will be programs, probably platforms created in the future to raise funds for this, the largest scale projects on the planet Earth, which is the creation of the pan-planetary or all-planetary transportation. And once the technical solution is developed properly on our platform, we will be able to sponsor this area as well. But it will not be related to UST. It will be separate, like Utera, as we are all aware. So we have to sort it all out in our heads. Unitsky's group of companies, GTI group of companies, which owns UST. as well. Now I hope everything is clear and I didn't confuse you. So probably some of you might not have had the correct structure in your heads. Hopefully now everything is clear. Where or which companies we are co-owners. So we are co-owners of GTI, which created UST. I hope that's clear. Victor is asking what other projects of Dr. Initsky will be available for investing. Well, I already mentioned it during our previous meeting. You can check it out. But on our platform, we will surely have the Utera project in a number of countries. I'm not going to tell you the exact geography right now, but we will have it. We'll be able to raise funds for Utera. We'll be able to raise funds for the Utera production facilities, plants. Also, we'll be able to raise funds for eco houses construction. Dr. Initsky has a lot of different inventions that will be in need of monetization. But for now, it is important for us to understand the responsibility, or the responsibility that lies with the investment crowdfunding, because we all heard that starting the year 2026, the GTI group of companies, based on the financial performance of UST in 2025, will be ready to pay remuneration. This is the first point. Second point is that we heard that GTI is ready to share 100% of profits without reinvesting into the technology, without reinvesting the profits into the technology. Remember all the memorandums that we read about the payment of remuneration and investments? It was always mentioned that the company will share its profits after it reinvests at least 30 to 40% of those profits into R&D. However, we also heard that the GTI company will be paying 100% or sharing 100% of its revenues, of its profits, in the first couple of years with us, investors who are co-owners of the parent company, GTI. But for those 100% to be shared with us, the company will have to still raise funds for R&D by selling pre-IPO shares in the parent company through the crowd investing platform. Because in order to further develop passenger, urban, and cargo transportation, the company still has around 70 billion pre-IPO shares to sell, so that even more people would be able to become co-owners of the already existing technology. So the sale of those pre-IPO shares and the money from the sales will be used to fund the operations of the engineering company. So this money will be spent on R&D and innovations. And the company already now has 2 commercial projects that are now sold in the market. We're talking about passenger and cargo transportation. The company receives revenues from the engineering works that the company is carrying out against the orders received from various customers. And the company is now in a position to sell its products on the market, generate profits, and then share those profits in the form of remuneration. And the fact that GTI is the parent company, it can sell pre-IPO shares, and the proceeds from the sale of the pre-IPO shares will be used for R&D and innovations. So the company will not have to use its profits to invest, to fund the R&D. So crowd investing will be used to fund R&D. But only under this condition we'll be able to increase our potential in 2026, 2027, 2028. Or in other words, we'll be able to expect 100% profit sharing in those years. And when the financial performance of UST and the engineering company will become more or less stable with stable profits, then probably the GTI company will make a decision to reinvest some of those profits back into the technology. Once the company becomes more or less stable, more or less standing firm on its feet, and then probably the company won't have to share all 100% of its profits, and it will be ready to reinvest part of those profits into R&D. And remember, Dr. Initsky promised to share 100% of his revenues with co-owners. But of course, Dr. Initsky eventually will have to use that money to fund other projects, other inventions of his. So for now, he's ready to sacrifice part of his profits, but you should understand that that's not going to last forever. I hope, guys, you understand what I'm saying here, and I'm not the only one who sees it. Is everyone on the same page now? Yes, we are. Yes, okay, I see all the answers. Victor says, how much do you think will be paid per share in 2026? Victor, I suggest you rewatch the recording of last meeting. I gave some theoretical calculations there, because right now we're in no position to give any precise numbers. Yelena wrote, in numbers, please give us the numbers. Again, Yelena, I refer you to our last meeting, where we did some calculations, some estimations, how much you can get per pre-IPO shares. The main indicator in terms of payouts is the financial performance as of the end of 2025. So when does the year 2025 end? In December. So after the end of 2025, the UST will have to undergo a financial audit and disclose its financial performance. And then in 2026, after the financial audit is done, the net profit will be calculated, estimated, and the official data will be published on the website of GTI. And GTI will be able to declare the amount of earnings in 2025. And from that moment on, and I think it's going to happen at least in Q3 2026, we'll be able to see those numbers. And then remuneration will eventually be paid. I hope that's clear. What is the date of last meeting, please? Josephine is asking. I will give you the date later. For now, I hope you understand my explanation about the payouts and the sequence of events. Yes, Victor, please watch the last webinar. It will be very useful for you. Okay, let's recap. It's been half an hour almost of my explanation. Yeah, almost, yes, half an hour. And the summary. And I'm very pleasantly surprised by your feedback, meaning that you are interested. I read the comments. I see that the misinformation that some of our partners have spread is going away gradually but steady, slowly but steady. And I also, an investor, have been an investor since 2014, and I also actively promoted this project. And I always said what I love best in this company and why I like Dr. Nitsky and his team is that there are answers to any question. There is not a single question that the company doesn't have an answer to. Some people usually say, Maxim, we're asking uncomfortable questions and you avoid them. Dear colleagues, in my understanding, there are no inconvenient questions. We have answers to everything. But the key aspect here is that when you hear those answers and they do not meet your expectations, then probably you should work on your own expectations and on your own objectivity about the information that you received. But in terms of financial, legal information and facts, the company has all answers that you need. The company will not answer questions related to know-how, intellectual property, patents, and so on. Things that are covered by the commercial secret. But as far as the investments are concerned, all answers have been given and all questions have answers. Everything is quite transparent and quite open. Moreover, let me remind you, in the second quarter of 2025, we had a lot of legal documents published on the GTI website, memorandums, for example, and addenda to the memorandum. And we've been discussing those documents for the last 2 months related to the high-speed transportation, related to the paying of remuneration, and so on. So all of it will also be backed by all the necessary legal documents and justification. And now, friends, let's take a look at the wonderful news that we had in the last 2 weeks. Let me start sharing my screen first. And let's go to the news page of our platform, where we collect news from all the websites related to UST. In your opinion, over the last 2-3 weeks, what was the most interesting piece of news? What did you like the best? Someone is asking for the website, for the link to the website GTI and the YouTube channel. Well, we will give you the link to the GTI website. GTI doesn't have its own YouTube channel. You can use our YouTube channel. Ruslan, could you please share the information in the chat, the link to the GTI website and the link to our YouTube channel. So ask your question, what piece of news you liked the best? And the first answer was, just give me, Josephine mentioned spring discount. Great, indeed. It is still a priority for us as investors into the string transportation technology because we indeed extended the discount until the 15th of May. We still have 5 days left. So what is a sprint discount? It's a discount dedicated to the Dr. Yunitsky's birthday, to celebrate his birthday. It's spring 76 to commemorate his birth. But also this discount has a wonderful bonus included that allows you to upgrade 76 to 84. Because if you pay for the package in one go, you get an extra 10% on top. So in other words, you can get packages at almost 86 discount. I think this is a very, very important news because we don't have such profitable offers too often. And we also know that in the near future, a countdown will be launched that will signify the closure of the fundraising for GTI. And I will have a meeting dedicated to how it's going to happen and when it's going to happen. And after the announcement, of course, discounts will start decreasing. That's why the current months, the months of May, I think is the best time for you to take advantage of this awesome discount and also to start actively promoting the project, invite new investors, because the news that we're reading right now is a very good motivation towards becoming co-owners and co-investors into the string transportation technology. Why? Because what we are investing in right now is already being monetized, and the news about the project is in Nepal is the direct proof of it. Investors that will be coming to this project will have to wait way less time before they start receiving their remuneration. In other words, if an investor comes in 2025 and becomes a co-owner of the GTI and purchases their pre-IPO shares, already in 2026 they have a chance of receiving dividends, remuneration on their pre-IPO shares, of course based on the performance, financial performance in 2025. We came into the project in 2014, 2015, 2016, 2020. And we're still waiting for the monetization, for the payback. Whereas investors who come today will have very, very small risks. I would say 0.1%. Why? Because work is already being conducted in different countries. And the project in Nepal is at a very important stage, design stage. And this project in Nepal was attended by very high-ranking officials of the country. And there will be more and more such projects every day. Remember 5 or 6 or 7 meetings ago in December, I think, when we celebrated the launch of Unilight as the first swallow of the first project, commercial project to be launched, I told you that very soon we're going to have news about similar launching of commercial projects in one country, then in another country, then in a 5th country, then in a 25th country. And that's what we're already observing right now. And believe me, we'll have more than enough of such projects out there. And also don't forget that in parallel, Dr. Unitsky, with his Unitsky's group of companies, is also going to the US territory to build a hub to showcase high-speed transportation. And in that company, we as GTI investors will have a 5% stake. And everything happening in the US will be also, all the works will be contracted to USD, which for us means additional revenues. And we are talking about $150 million as revenues for the USD. And once the USD company will start receiving that money for performing works in the United States, GTI, being the parent company, will also benefit. And we are co-owners of GTI and will share in their profits. Going back to the discounts, the new investors face very few risks right now. And probably some of you don't appreciate it or underestimate it, because for you it's also a very good opportunity to earn commission by inviting new investors. And you don't have to prove anything to new investors, because we have all the proofs they need. Previously, we had to share blueprints, books by Dr. Unitsky, Dr. Unitsky's biography, 100 questions and answers about the technology. We had to prove the viability of the technology to potential investors. We don't have to do that anymore. That's why, dear colleagues, do not miss out on the opportunity to extend your partnership network, especially before the launch of the Micron Global, and also to increase your own pre-IPO share portfolio, because only 5 days are left. And one of our partners has written that the Spring Discount 76 is one of the key news of this month. And as for the development of the string transportation technology, we did mention the project in Nepal. Well, everything is more or less clear. The process has been launched. Very cool news. And now it's being covered by mass media in that particular region. And in the next meeting, we will cover it as well. Next, TUVSW and USky Transport discussed rectifier certification as part of test track for electrification. We're talking about one of the leading companies in the area of certification. I'm talking about TUVSW. So we have developments there. Next, there were several news about Nepal. And what else did we have? So we saw also the Discovery cooperation in the United Arab Emirates. So everything is going according to plans and even exceeding our expectations, I'd say. So now it is high time we started also actively promoting it. Elena says, it's great, let's move forward. Indeed, it's not just words, we are moving forward. And also please note a certain chronology or sequence of my statements throughout this year. I mean, not the calendar year, but astronomical year, since last May. You might have noticed that I never shared things that weren't true. I always tried to share facts and never engaged in wishful thinking. always dealt with facts. And if I expressed a personal opinion, I always mentioned that it was personal opinion. And this allowed me and our partners to deliver the correct information about where the company is at right now. The predictions and the facts that I shared, we all see that they are coming true, the predictions. I'm not trying to boast here or praise myself. I'm just trying to show you that all of the events related to the development of the train transportation technology should be assessed objectively with a grain of salt, if you will, and you should always analyze everything yourself and try to identify what kind of prospects we have, what kind of prospects our new investors will have. And if we go back a year and see how this information was delivered, I don't think any investor will be able to say that we confused someone or misrepresented something. Remember, in December, I mentioned that we're going to have information about the first commercial projects in different countries, and that's what happened. And remember, I told you that we shouldn't be expecting dividends or remuneration in 2025, because some people thought that remuneration would be paid in 2025. And yes, that's what's happening. We still have to wait for the financial performance in 2025 and not the dividends in 2025, no matter what other people say. Is that clear, dear colleagues? Do you agree? Try to be as active as possible, as interactive as possible. We have 120 people now attending the meeting. So Trini said agree, okay. Stoyanova Stefka wrote clear. Tatiana wrote all clear. Nelka says yes, I understand you very well. Olga wrote. Alexander said without loud words and on point. Yes, I'm not a big fan of loud words. I always deal in facts, without any futuristic predictions and misrepresenting, as some of our partners are doing. This is our style. This is the Micron Global style. And most importantly, dear friends, you will see what kind of prospects are ahead of us. Maya wrote, everything is clear. Josephine wrote, yes, clear. Yes, agreed, was written by Brenda. Great, was written by Neva. And Tatiana wrote, everything is clear. Thank you very much for your feedback. And Natalia has asked a question that I wanted to tell you in 1 second. And the question is, Maxim, when are we going to have the new platform launched? Let's talk about it. So we plan for the launch in mid-June, and we're going to get ready for it. Let me tell you what I mean. First, friends, I told you that it is important for us right now to focus on investment crowdfunding, because by doing it, we raise funds for the existing products of the company, passenger and cargo transportation. We are subsidizing in this way the engineering company, UST, through GTI, by participating in crowdfunding. The company sells pre-IPO shares, we invite new investors, and the money is used for innovative activity. So for us to streamline that work, to optimize, maximize that work, and for this work to be fruitful, the RSW Systems moves to a new format, to an updated brand, Micron Global, where you're going to have an updated compensation plan, which will help you build your career for dozens of years ahead and earn decent money. This is A. B, dear friends, you are going to get a unique instrument that no one has. I will go to share some things that probably are already known to you. But let me start from the basics. Before I make the presentation, what kind of instrument, tool, where I'm talking about on Micron Global, I'm going to ask you some basic questions. And why we are postponing a little bit the Micron Global, because right now we'd like to create a focus group that will help us test this tool. And I will explain you why we need that tool. But before we start this topic, let me ask you a question. What the main work in an agency network built on? And I'm asking this question to people who know how to build partnership networks or agents network, who know how to build teams united by a single cause, by a single objective. So what do you think is the core of an agency network? Someone says customers and education or training. Okay, other guesses, other ideas? Dear colleagues, be active. Tatiana says by inviting partners. What else? Someone says help, support, management. Tatiana says call center. Well, not exactly. Call center is more about technical support, and for that we have a customer support service. So call center is wrong. Maya says agency network or agents network, partnership program, fundraising, and partner development. Someone says flexible customization or personalization. Let me try and see what our English-speaking partners wrote. By being educated and by making educated, a strong team can be formed. Well, yes, exactly. Well, even call center is almost a correct answer, but it's more about, again, customer support. Josephine wrote, just give me a chance to translate her message. Sharing the opportunity, yes. Someone says, monitoring transactions with the agents. So I'm asking you, what is the core principle behind building a network? Interacting with the general public, Joseph wrote. Gregory says, to find people who are of the same mind in terms of the project development. Okay, let me put it this way. Imagine I am an active agent in the partnership network. I'm a consultant, and my task is to make my first sales. Why? Not only for another person to become an investor into the string transportation technology, but also to make them want to participate in the promotion, right? Because after all, we're promoting and building our career. And our career is built upon finding people like you, like-minded people. And you are now, dear colleagues, are talking between yourselves, I see. Just let's keep on point here, okay? Because I want to deliver you a message. So I, for example, am an active agent. I'm a consultant, and I would like to invite new investors. But among those investors, I would like to find like-minded people who also want to build a career in our company. So what do I have to do? What do I have to give them? Someone says training. Exactly, Mikhail wrote. And on our platform, we are going to have training in different forms. But what is the core of any agents network? Training, motivation, communication, hope, someone wrote. Of course, what else? Product, what else? There is one word that unites everything that you've just written. Okay, let me put it this way. Let me rephrase. Imagine I put together 10 people, and all of them became investors into the string transportation technology. Dmitro wrote, duplication. And what is duplication? I could, give you the answer right away and not draw it out of you for 10 minutes, but I would like you to arrive at this yourselves. Someone says, is copying. Duplication is about copying. Okay, copying and duplication is united by one single word, which is when we're doing all the same thing using the same what? Someone says scheme. Well, scheme is not that. Here we have the right answer. System. Exactly. So we should have the same system and follow the same system and all use the same, takes the same systematic action. Let's say we gathered, I found 100 people and made 100 sales. Out of those 100 sales, as the statistics goes, and it's statistics based on many years of experience, out of the 100 sales or purchasers, 20% will be willing to do the same and participate in the affiliate program. And if those 20 people start doing what they want, deliver different information, position the company in a different way, have their own type of meetings, give different answers, what will happen out of it? What will come of it? So we will have a situation when everyone does what they want, and there will be no consistency in how the project is promoted, in how the objections are handled, and so on. Someone says chaos is what we get. Exactly. That's why on our platform, from the get-go, we're going to launch a single mechanism or a single instrument that anyone can copy or repeat. So what is the success behind duplication? After all, duplication means doing the same thing. And the success of duplication is the key to success is very simple. Actions should be so simple that anyone can repeat them. And we're going to have a very simple tool powered by augmented reality. In other words, in a couple of minutes, we will be able to explain to a person what is the point of our proposal, and it will take us 5 minutes to bring them to the decision to become a client on our platform and become an investor. 5 minutes is what is going to take them to become a client. It took me sometimes 1 hour and a half, 2 hours to make a presentation, to show them a video, to answer their questions, handle their objections, and then 2 or 3 more meetings when necessary for them to make a purchase. Now we're going to give you an instrument that nobody has and nobody will have, and it will be most effective. And this instrument was tested for almost 7 years in different formats, different ways, during different events, in different contexts. And it yielded a very good result. And that's what we're going for. with my close partner and friend, Dmitry Slusar, and it's an augmented reality project. Someone says 5 minutes is too long. We need a 10-second video. Well, don't worry. What we have is even better. And this instrument was called Adva Hunter. Now Dmitry improved on it and developed a better version of this application, and it's called AdMix. So I'm going to show you how it's going to look like using a video, what it looks like. Just give me a second, please. Let me show you a couple of videos, and then I will explain to you what I'm talking about here and how to use it. Not how to use it, but how we are going to use it, and where we will need your help. So can you hear the sound of the video? No, so probably I didn't share the sound when I started sharing my screen. Just give me a second. What about now? Just give me a second, I will stop screen sharing and do it again. So let's have a second try. Just 1 second. So I hope you could hear the sound. Good, good. So I can see, I now know that you can hear the sound, at least in the Russian room. Good. Now let's take a look at what this instrument is all about and what makes it so unique. Let's watch a couple of videos to understand. So this was the first video, and here's the second one. Okay. A colleague of mine is telling me that is asking me for the link, and someone says it's better for us to show our regular videos. I'm not talking about promo videos. I'm talking about using a tool, a new tool. I just given you a short demonstration, and I will explain how it works and how to use it and what it's all about. Okay, so you understood the essence of it, right? So what you saw right now was just a 3D renders of how augmented reality works. So how does it work? How does this instrument work? So how do you usually run your own presentations? Just share it with me. So what is your usual presentation, how it goes like for your clients? Share it with me. So what do you usually do to explain to people, to your prospects, what you do and how much time it takes you? Friends, don't be shy. We have more than 100 people here. Tell me, what do you do to make people become your clients? Or even better, for them to learn what you do? We're not going to discuss whether it's better to show them our regular videos or those videos. This is not the point of discussion. I'm talking about the sales themselves, how much time it takes and what our efficiency ratio is. Let's do it this way. So we have more than 100 people here, and I would like to at least 50% to write in the chat how you make your presentations and how you make people interested in becoming an investor. And I will make a short 5 to 10 minutes break while everyone please write your feedback or write your answers, how you run your presentations and how much time it takes you usually. And we'll see some general statistics, the average numbers, how much time it takes an average promoter to make people interested, to make them invest. And use those 5 minutes, that 5-minute break, to write about your own experience. I'm sure many of you are experienced promoters, and we would like to see your experience, see how you do it, and then I will show you how this new tool can help you with that. Okay? So we'll make a short 5 to 10 minutes break, and then I will read your messages, your comments, and then I will show you how we're going to use that new tool on our platform. And then at the end, I will answer a couple of important questions. And also, please stick to the end because I'm going to have an experience of how you run. I will, to put it on, please participate in our survey. It's very important. I would like you yourselves to see how much time we waste in our work and how to improve our efficiency, because time is money, and if you are wasting too much time, you're wasting money. So tell me how you run your meetings, how much time it takes you to convert a prospect into a customer, into signing the deal. Okay, let's meet here in 8 minutes. How you run your presentations, on how you broker a deal. Please keep on writing because I forgot to refill my glass with. Okay, we'll come out with a formula, and afterwards I will show you the essence of the tool and show you what makes it unique, so simple, and very, very much duplicable. It can be repeated by any partner in your network, for sure. So let's go from top. Maya Yashkina wrote that I tell them about the technology. Then Suraj wrote, just give me a second, I will have it translated first. In the beginning, I needed approximately 5 hours to explain Skyway, the string transportation technology. So 5 hours, okay. Stoyanova Stevka, 1 to 2 hour meeting. Next. Yelena wrote, I have my performance in my back office. Well, okay. Joseph Nana wrote something too. Let me see what it means. I did nothing rather than telling them the prospects of Skyway, and they invested. Okay, good. Thank you for sharing, Joseph. Next. So all the models are shared in the social media on sales. We need to give them training with artificial intelligence and show them the sales funnels. A lot of my clients are retired people, and new people will be using social networks. Okay, so this new tool is about exactly what you're saying. Next, Neba wrote, presentation about the company as the technology of the future, show them some videos from YouTube and the ultimate financial benefits of becoming a co-owner of such a company. Okay. Next, first I made them a proposal, and now they talk to them to first identify their needs. A lot of people need money without doing anything. For many people, investments is rocket science. So it's enough for me a couple of minutes to explain and to decide whether I should work with them or not. And I'm not interested in people who are not willing to invest. Well, okay, I understand why you're doing it. But mainly it's about identification of needs, right? Grigory, when it was explained to me, it took me 5 minutes to understand. I just read the leaflet about the product, which was given to me by my sponsor, and I realized the entire potential of this project. So it's about people who really want to change their life. And people who want to change their life will see the potential. Joseph wrote, the expectation of the string technology sold itself with some YouTube clips and pictures of my spouse and I riding in a string car in Belarus some years back. Okay, cool. Dr. Baban Kalita wrote, sir, every now and then I attend the meeting and find near about 150 and so on investors to attend it. I'm eager to know how many people from how many countries invested in it. I show YouTube videos and talk to people personally. Okay. Elena wrote, I establish the contact, I identify their needs, I present the product, I handle objections, and then I close the deal. Usually it takes me 45 minutes for the meeting and 3 days to close the deal. Very good case. Evgeny says, first, I find out the attitude of the person to investing. If I see it's positive, I show them our video and comment on this video. I tell them how I joined this project and tell them about the current state of affairs. Usually it's 1 hour. Very good answer. Very good case. Olga wrote, in the very beginning, when I realized the potential of the project, I was very inspired and I started inviting people from my circles, even from the internet. But over time, my excitement died down, and I stopped inviting people. Okay, I see that all in all, it took you 1 to 2 hours to make a presentation, sometimes even more time. And you wrote, first you establish a contact, then you identify their needs, whether they need it or not. And now imagine that everything that you just mentioned could be done in 3 to 5 minutes only. Some of the partners wrote, once I get the positive answer, I move on. So what this augmented reality tool can offer for you to build your network, to extend your network, to make your work easier. What will make it simple? Let's imagine me meeting a prospect, a potential investor into the string transportation technology. So we meet, and I ask him one question, first question. Do you want me to show you something you never saw? So tell me, what would be the percentage rate of negative answers to a question, do you want me to show you something you've never seen before? So how many negative replies, percentage-wise, do you think I would get? Or what would be the answer? Joseph wrote 0. Someone would say, please show me. Yes, you see, you pose a question in such a way that they already give you a positive answer too. So 100% of people would be interested. So 0 negative replies. So it works. That's how psychology works. Like, what are you going to show me that will surprise me this much, or something that I have never seen before? So what you do, you take your phone, you open the augmented reality app, activate the camera, and you point the camera at the urban landscape. And the augmented reality app will add the string transportation technology over the current landscape, the urban landscape. And the videos that you saw, they are not presentational videos. It's examples of how augmented reality works. So you give them a phone in their hands, and all they do is they get this wow effect, or it's somehow like aha moment. So a person takes a phone in their hands, points it at the urban landscape, and see this string transportation being implemented like in real life in the area they are in. And this is a wow effect, pure and simple. And then they start looking at the rolling stock. They click on it, and they like watch around. They can get inside the car and look around. Back in the day, when it was first implemented, you couldn't see people simply spend hours and hours playing with the toy. So basically, the first question was, do you want to see something you've never seen before? And in most cases, they haven't seen it before. And the next question would be, is it already implemented? And after that question, you tell them, of course, it has already been implemented, and you show them the first commercial project and show them the video of what it looks like in real life and not in augmented reality. And after they see that, you ask them the next question. Would you like to become a co-owner or investor into that technology? And there will be several answers possible. Is it possible to invest? How much? Is it profitable? And so on. And then you show them the profitability of investing. And from the very website of the web version of augmented reality, you can refer them to Micro and Global, register them there, and a mobile phone and the email will be enough for that. And they will be added to your structure right away. And then, of course, you bring them to closing the deal and help them with the purchase of the package. And it will take you 3 to 5 minutes, all in all. So, friends, the whole essence of this application is to make your job easier. And as Elena wrote it, it will work on the subconscious level of the person. It will work. And Eugen wrote, it's genius. Well, I think it is. So my question to you, after that person used the app, became an investor, and learns that they can also make a commission and build a career, do you think it's going to be difficult for them to do the same with their list of contacts, 200 and 500 people? How difficult it's going to be for them to have like several dozen meetings, spending 5 to 10 to 15 minutes while drinking a cup of coffee or tea, but it's not 2 hours on presentation, it's not 2 hours of explanation, etc. The technology has moved far beyond. You don't need to convince anyone. You show them 1, 2, 3, it's done. We have a commercial project. We have orders in the pipeline. In 2026, we're expecting payouts. Do you think there is a big chance that the person will reject your offer? Of course, there is always a chance, but it's very, very little. So how many people will be able to repeat what I've shown you a minute ago with my phone? So how many people do you think will be able to repeat those same actions? Maya says, Many. Eugen says all of them. Yelena wrote 80 per 20. Is it Pareto law? Well, Pareto law applies to what we did before the augmented reality. You know, personal meetings, hour-long presentations, objection handling, etc. In this case, it will be simple psychology in working. Ease. Every person will be able to do the same. And if you're talking about pensioners, many people, retired people, do not use those old type phones. All of them, almost all of them, use smartphones already. Young people, I don't worry about young people. It's easy for them. So someone is asking, is it going to be in Micron? Yes, it's going to be exclusively on our platform, this application. And it will be available to all of our partners. And now, for all of it to test, for us to launch it, we simply have to do some groundwork. I want as many people as possible to participate in the testing of this application. For you to understand how to use it and how effective it is for this reason, dear friends, that we suggest you become part of our focus group with a limited number of people, 100 people only, where we're going to give you all the explanation, all the clarification, together with the author of the application, Dmitry. The application is called AdMix. Literally next week, we will have the registration form published, and you can use it to move to our Telegram channel, and we will recruit 100 people, where for 1 month, tops, each of you will be using this app. Maya is asking how much time it's going to take us. A couple of meetings. We're going to explain the marketing aspect behind it, and Dmitry will explain the technical aspects. It's very duplicable. Piece of cake. Anyone can do it. So you don't need a lot of time to do that. You don't need to spend a lot of time. We will have a couple of Zoom meetings. We will show you how it works. In the meanwhile, you will test it, and then you will share your results. And then we will develop metrics that we'll use to assess your performance, the number of sign-ups, closed deals, etc. You can do it today, register new people on the RSW systems, help them make payments, etc. Because those people will move with you to the new platform too. But since AdMix is ready for launch, it would be easier or more logical for us to launch Micron Global together with the new app. So in other words, we will give you a tool that will help you quickly build your team using the new marketing plan with a very, very generous compensation plan, very generous fees. And I hope you guys already familiarized yourselves with the marketing plan, with the compensation plan. So right now, I'm announcing recruiting to our focus group, 100 people tops. You don't need to pay anything. We will give you free access to the application. And for you, this instrument will already generate certain results when you use it. So in that, it's free. For the focus group, it's going to be free. And after we launch it on the Micron Global platform, of course, this instrument will cost some nominal fee. It will be affordable to anyone. It's a tool that will generate money for you, generate profits for you. It will help your structures, your teams grow. So basically, you are buying a tool that will make your job easier for you, that's easy to use, duplicable, easy to scale up. So this is a tool for your business. It's like you go into a workplace. For example, a person becomes a chef, they buy their own knives, right? They sharpen those knives, they take care of those knives. A person goes to a car shop, repair shop, and they sometimes buy their own tools, specialized tools. The company will provide them with some like basic tools, but then they will have to buy some specialized tools, like, I don't know, some kind of a flashlight that is mounted on his head. Things that will be necessary, whose necessity will become apparent during his work. So this instrument, this tool, will be helping you increase your network, which will be easy to use and replicate by any partner in your team. And also, it is something that will regularly ensure growth across the entire world. I'm not talking about only in the Eastern Europe area. I'm talking about the entire world. We have people here from all corners of the world. And in a very short time, using this instrument, we can show wonderful performance on our updated website in terms of new investors into the string transportation technology. And that countdown that we mentioned will serve us, we will use that time, that countdown period, to increase our community. So wait for the updates. Next week, we will have 100 people group, a limited number of people, that will be enough for us to derive some kind of statistics. And here, we're going to use the Pareto law. Out of 100 people, we would like to see what kind of results we will have. And after we launch the Micron Global website, and I will tell you the approximate date when we're going to have it, after which event, and after the event that we're going to have online in the next couple of weeks. And after that, we will show you your own performance of using this application, dear friends. You will be pleasantly surprised how this works. Evgeny is asking how to enter this pilot group. Next week on our platform, RSW Systems, we will announce the recruitment into that group to test the instrument, a crowd investing instrument, because AdMix is about helping your crowd investing efforts. And after the news is published, you go to that Telegram channel, and there you will get all the instructions to participate in our focus group, or pilot group, as you called it. So please tell me, did you enjoy the ease, the simplicity, and the easy-to-replicate approach of this instrument in this 21st century of ours? So tell me whether it excited you. Awesome. Awesome approach. Interesting. I like the idea. Let's see the efficiency. Super, super duper. Wrote something. Let me translate it first. Well, first we're going to publish the news on RSW System. Try this group. Don't miss out on this opportunity. Thank you very much for your feedback. I hope you understand the whole idea behind it. We will give you the results to be a certain algorithm. We'll announce the specific date of the launch of the Micron Global Platform. In the nearest future, we're agreeing on this event. We're talking Deputy Director of String Transportation Inc., Technologies Inc., and then we'll have a special guest. Financial framework is ready for the payout of dividends when all the reports are ready. Next, is there a double taxation avoidance agreement between Russia and India? But what does Russia has to do with what we're talking about? The string transportation technology is not related to Russia or any other country. The string transportation technology is in the British Virgin Islands jurisdiction. It's where the GTI is located. So Russia has nothing to do with this technology. And this technology is international. It doesn't belong to Russia, to like Middle East country, any. It's a intellectual property protected by the international laws on intellectual property. And it will be protected by British law, which is one of the strongest laws in terms of the intellectual property protection. It's just for your information. So in the end, let me put a fly in your ointment. Liz Chico is asking, oh, when are we getting the dividends? Could you please answer Liz in privately, when they can get their dividends? Maxim Isip dedicated 8 meetings to the topic of dividends, and last meeting also was dedicated to dividends. There's a declaration of dividends. There are amendments to the declaration of dividends to be made. Official amendment to be published on GTI. And you're still asking the question, when are we getting the dividends? We have answered that question on numerous occasions. So I suggest you rewatch the recordings, watch the recordings, but do not ask same old questions that have been answered long ago. Okay? So, and please don't be offended. I wish you a wonderful Saturday evening. Thank you very much for your time. I'll be waiting for your applications to our focus group to be set up next week. We will be getting ready for the launch of the Micron Global Platform. We're going to have a lot of additional technical meetings with clarifications, explanations before the launch. We're getting ready for the big event with Dr. Nitsky and his colleagues. Participation at that online event, we're going to have it on Zoom with a lot of other languages. And at that event, we will announce the date of the launch of the Micron Global Platform, where we are going to give the opportunity to every willing person to use this unique business app to grow their network. And by then, we will already have the results of the performance of the people who will participate in the focus group. Again, thank you very much for your attendance. See you on the 15th of May.